This video is going to be on Saxon Math Course 3, Lesson 92's Star Problems. So, jumping right on into problem number 2. Problem number 2 is the first starter problem. It says that Joseph's workshop is 12 feet by 7 feet. If the drawing of the workshop has a scale of 1 inch equals 2 feet, what are the dimensions of the drawing? Now, let's start off with the length. We would make our little chart, remembering that we put our scale over here, 1 inch to 2 feet. We are given the feet, so the 12 is going to go by the 2, and then that will give us our ratios that we need to set up. We need to have 1 over 2 equals x over 12. Find the horizontal rule that will take us from 2 to 12, and multiply by the same thing on top to get from 1 to x. Now, on this side of things, we're going to need the width of the drawing. We're going to make the same table. 1 and 2, these are our scale. We are given that it is 7 feet, and here we are looking for, let's call this one y. Now, when we set up this ratio, we're going to have 1 over 2 equals y over 7. Now, there is a rule that will get us from 2 to 7 by multiplying. I'll let you know it's going to be a decimal, because 7 is an odd number. We can go the same way. Remember, you can also do the cross product, the diagonal rule, to have 2y equals 1 times 7, which is 7. Divide by 2 on both sides to find your answer there. Now, in your dimensions, I'm going to write x by y, or x by y inches. Now, you should find what that value is. I believe in you. You can do it. Question 3. 3 siblings split the cost of a soccer ball evenly. It costs $29.99 plus a 6% tax. The question is asking us which expression shows this. Now, this expression has $29.99 times 0.06. Then that is being divided by 3. This would show what would happen if just the tax is divided. So this is not correct. This, option B, says $29.99 plus 0.06 divided by 3. Now remember, this times 0.06, that would give us our tax information. Now, we shouldn't be able to recognize that since $29.99 is not 1, when it's multiplied by 0.06, it will give us a number larger than 0.06. This would be a true expression if there was only a 6-cent tax. Since we find taxes by multiplying, this is incorrect. This option here, 1.06, gives us the whole cost and the 0.6% tax. Since it has the whole cost and the tax divided by 3, this one will be our answer. This one is incorrect because this assumes that we have a $1.06 tax. These two, B and D, don't find the tax correctly. A only finds the tax. C finds the tax correctly and accounts for the original amount as well with this 1. This 1 is really important because you still have to pay for the soccer ball. You can't just pay for the tax. Question 4 says, on a number line, graph all the numbers greater than -2 that are also less than or equal to 5. Now, remember, greater than is going to look like this. Less than or equal to will look like this. I want you guys to think to yourselves, what kind of dots does a greater than have? What kind of dots does a less than have? I will tell you that there should be some form of dot here and some form of dot here. You must have the correct dot, whether it's an open dot or a closed dot, in your homework. Then because every number greater than negative 2 would be to the right, and every number less than negative 5, the area where both are true is the space between the two. Between the two, things are both greater than negative 2 and less than 5. Question 5 on the homework says, what central angle is formed by a clock at 4 o'clock? Now, a clock at 4 o'clock would look something like this. The numbers would be on the inside, but I want you to be able to see them, so I wrote them on the outside. Now, a clock goes all the way from the starting position to 12. How much of the clock has this gone past when it's gotten to 4? Well, it's 4/12 of the clock, which can be reduced by dividing by 4 on the top and the bottom to 1/3, meaning that this space has gone 1/3 around the clock. So a clock is a circle. There are 360 degrees on a circle, so we can know that it has traveled 1/3 of a full 360-degree turn. This will give you some amount of degrees, which you should have as your answer for the first portion. The second portion of question 5 says, what is the percent of a full circle that is in that sector, meaning the hands at 4 o'clock? Well, we know the fraction is 1/3. And I know that you should all know there's a 2-digit and fractional percentage that is equal to 1/3. I'll give you a hint. It ends in 1/3, but there are 2 digits that go here. You should be able to fill those out. If you're not sure, you can message me on the class website, or you can just do the division. If you're not sure, remember that you can always find those numbers by doing 1 divided by 3 and adding in some extra decimals. Do that math. Figure out what numbers go there. You can do it. Question 6 is a question about sets. It gives us 2 sets. It gives us the set of the first 5 counting numbers. The first 5 counting numbers being 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It also gives us the set of the first 5 even counting numbers, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It then asks, what is the intersection of these 2 sets? Now, the intersection is this symbol, which is the AND. So we should look for what 2 numbers are in both this set and in this set. There are 2 of them. I'm telling you that right now. There are 2 numbers that are in both. The union of these sets is every number that is in either this set or in this set or in both. And remember, union is this symbol. Now, I'll give you guys the union. The union is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there are 2 more numbers that are in this set, 8 and 10. So that would be the union. Now, to find the intersection, just look for the 2 numbers which are in both of these sets. Question 13 is a little bit more tricky. It says a triangle with a base and height of 12 is enclosed in a circle with a diameter of 20. Now, I want you for part A to estimate the percent of the area of the circle occupied by the triangle. You can have any reasonable answer here. Looking at this, do you think the triangle is more than a half? Do you think it's less than a half? If you think it's less than half of the shape, your percentage should be a number below 50. This probably looks like it's close to a third of the shape. If I had to guess, I might say 30%. But your guess is your guess. We're going to be finding the actual answer further down in the problem. Part A is just, what do you think before we get started? Make sure you write that down now. I don't want to see you have the right answer. If you have the answer that's in the bottom, I'll know that you didn't estimate it first. So estimate it. Make a guess. I'll accept any guess for A that's reasonable. Now, for portion B, it says find the area of the triangle and the circle. Now, the triangle has a base of 12 and a height of 12. The circle, we find the area of a circle with radius. It has a diameter of 20. Remember that, though, that the radius is half of the diameter. So we're going to have pi times 10 times 10. Going over to the area, 12 times 12 is the same as 12 squared. You should know what number that is, and half of it would be 72. And this would be in square units. For the circle, we need to change pi to an actual number. We're going to go with 3.14. We're choosing 3.14 because we aren't given a number that's divisible by 7. If it was divisible by 7, we might have used 22 over 7, but right now we're going to use 3.14 because 10 or 10, neither of them are divisible by 7. 10 times 10 is 100, and 100 times 3.14, we're going to move that decimal twice because we got 2 zeros in 100, meaning that our area of the circle will be 314 square units. Part C of question 13 asks us to calculate the percent of the circle that is occupied by the triangle to the nearest percent. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take the area of the triangle, we're going to divide it by the area of the circle, and then multiply by 100. So we got 72. We're going to have that over 314. Now we're obviously not going to have any 314s fit into 72. So we're going to need to give us some decimals. Now 720 will definitely fit 1, and also will fit 2 314s. 2 314s would be 628. When we subtract that, we're going to get, well, we'll need to borrow 1, 10, and then we'll need to borrow again, 6, 11. 10 minus 8 is 2, 11 minus 2 is 9, and 6 minus 6 is 0. We'll then have a 0 brought down, and we'll ask ourselves, how many times can 314 fit into 920? Well, the closest number to 300 would be 3, but 3 times 14 is going to be bigger than 20. 3 times 300 is 900. So we'll need to do 2 again. We're going to need to do the same borrowing, although our digit in the hundredths place is a little bit bigger this time. 10 minus 8 is 2, 11 minus 2 is 9, and 8 minus 6 is 2. Then we're going to bring down another 0, and we're going to have to do this math here. Now, looking at this, 10 times 314 would be too big. However, 9 will fit inside of it. 9 times 314, 9 times 4, 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 1 plus 3 is 12. 9 times 3 is 27, plus 1 is 28. So we're going to get 28 26. Now we're going to need to borrow from here to get a 1, making this 10, which will give us 4. We'll borrow here, which will give us 8. And here we'll get a 11 minus 2 is 9. So we'll have 94. Now we could bring down another 0. But remember our instructions. We're supposed to calculate to the nearest percent. So we're going to have 22, and this is going to be times 100, so 22.9%. And if we round that, it's going to round up to 23%. So that's going to be the answer for part C. If you guessed close to 23, good job. Remember, if you guessed 23, you might not get the point on this one because the whole point of this question was to see how good you were at guessing. If you guessed at all, you're going to get the point for this one. You just need to guess. If you didn't guess, you won't get the point. Question 24. Now, question 24 has to do with some shapes we saw in the question before this. There was a series of rectangular prisms, and we want to find the scale factor from each side. from smaller to larger. So to find what we multiply the small one to get the large, we can divide the large by the small. So I took the measurements on the corresponding sides and set them up. You only need to do one of these because we know that they are similar prisms. If we didn't know they were similar prisms, you should do all three just to make sure. However, it's a pretty easy math problem. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. They all give us the same answer, that our scale factor is 2. Now, to find the ratio of areas, if we remember our lesson from the first day of the online lesson, lesson 91, the ratio of the areas is going to be equal to the scale factor squared. So we're going to put this scale factor in here as a 2, and also in here for volume, because the ratio of volume is the scale factor cubed. Now the scale factor squared is going to be 2 times 2, scale factor cubed is going to be 2 times 2 times 2 again. In order to find this question, you just need to finish up this multiplication to get these answers. Alright, I hope you have a wonderful day. Make sure you finish up your homework. If you are working on your homework, if you have questions about when we're going to be turning in the notes, there will be an assignment posted probably this Friday, which will be a notebook check. You'll need to upload a picture of each day's notes to the assignment. We're not going to do that until after we've published Lesson 95. So once Lesson 95 is finished, after you've turned in Lesson 95's homework, you should go take pictures of your notes and upload them to the notebook check. I'm going to make the notebook check available the same day that Lesson 95 goes up. If you have any more questions, please feel free to leave me private comments. Please feel free to message me through your parents on Remind. I hope you all have a wonderful day, stay safe, remember to wash your hands, and have a good one.